Today I'll be reviewing the H&K VP70. This is being filmed on May 17th of 2024, so the most recent review for this gun that there's probably going to be for a while, unless somebody else decides to do it again. You're not going to hear anything that you haven't heard before if you've already seen the other kinds of videos on this gun. I just wanted to share this because I'm a big Resident Evil fan. The very first video game that I ever played in my entire life was Resident Evil 2 on PS1 back in 1998. Because I was born in 1994. I turned 30 this year. Finally was able to get my hands on this gun, and I was so fucking excited to fucking use it, and the guys at the gun shop were also like happy to see it, because again, for anybody who doesn't know, this is the world's first ever polymer frame striker-fired handgun. It beat Glock by about 10 years. I think more, I'm not sure. But this is also the civilian version that is the VP70Z, and the Z stands for zivil, which is the German word for civilian, and VP stands for Volkspistole, which is the people's pistol, and 70 is, I think it started manufacturing in 1970. That's what I believe it was. But it's also in the movie, I think Alien or Aliens. It's either one of them or only the second one, I forget which one. But I was able to get 2 extra mags that came with one, and these are like the only 2 that I could find, but thankfully I got all 3. But you're going to hear all the same criticisms that you would hear in other videos, because the sights are fucking terrible, the trigger's dog shit, and this right here is not a mag release. That is a safety. Right here it's ready to fire, and it will. I should probably check and clear first. I know it's empty, but you guys don't know, so I probably should do that first. And it's ready to fire there. And if you were to try and use your now common mag release technique, you just put your gun on safe, and it will not fire anymore. That is the mag release paddle right there. Kind of weird. I don't know if I can show it, because I keep hearing that YouTube has very strict rules on showing reloading on screen, so I'll load one of the empty mags in there. All the mags are empty. I don't have any ammo loaded for any of them. I have ammo, but I haven't loaded them. But I hope I can show this. I'm not sure if I can, but I'm going to try it anyway. Paddle release. Comes right out. No big deal. Problem is that when I fired it today, I test fired it today like an hour ago, when I went to go pick it up, the trigger's fucking horrendous. And I admit I have small hands, so this gun, it looks big in this hand. Whenever I was firing the gun though, my fingers actually got tired and I had to use more fingers. Like at some point I was doing this, and I could feel every time that the gun recoiled, my finger, like my index finger, was hitting some part of the gun. I can't tell if it was the frame or the slide or what. Thankfully I did not injure myself, because I'm not completely stupid. It looks weird, looks funny. It's a strange looking gun. I had everybody at the gun shop saying it looked like a high point, which upset me. One guy said it looked like a Walther, which I can understand. It does look like one. And that is the takedown lever, I think, which we discovered that, or at least we theorized, because we're not gunsmiths of any kind, that not only is the trigger horrible, again I'm gonna, yeah, it's empty, clear again. Not only is the trigger horrible, but we believe that the reset is where the trigger has to meet the takedown lever, but we're not entirely sure. I felt something there. Nope, that wasn't it. It might actually have to be at the takedown lever. I heard that click. Okay, so you pretty much have to send it all the way home. Not entirely, but basically, in order for the trigger reset. I fired 100 rounds through this thing just now at the range, and it was god-awful. Like, this gun is not fun to shoot. I may have to go back and shoot my VP7, no, my VP9, just to, like, a emotional support reaction, because this fucking... This is a fun-looking gun, and I'm a fan of Resident Evil, and I did, in the past, like, 2 or 3 years, I think, watch the Alien movies for the first time. Well, I watched the first one when I was much younger, but I didn't catch up on them again until adulthood. But this is a fun gun in every aspect except for actually handling it and shooting. But beyond that, it's fucking... To me, it's priceless, honestly. Even with how horrible it is to handle. Just... I can't say enough good things about how iconic it is, but I can't say enough bad things about how horrible it is to actually shoot and handle. And if in case you don't know, there is a military version that was also made years ago, whenever this gun was first being made. This is the Z model, VP70Z. The other version is the VP70M model, which stands for military. And that one is able to fit itself a shoulder stock that clicks in the back of these two pieces right here. And there is a fire select switch on the stock that can interact with mechanisms of the gun. There on the M model, there is like a little notch somewhere back here. I honestly don't exactly know. I know the basics of how it works, but not the finer details. And it will allow the gun to shoot in 3-round burst, which technically makes it a machine pistol, because they wanted a PDW when they first asked for it. And the trigger was still bad, but the cyclic rate of the rate of fire was super fucking high. I can't remember if it was like 900 or 1100, but it was insane. And to be honest, I'm just happy to now own this piece of machinery. It is, I would say, one of the ones on the negative side of the Kraut Space Magic, especially like the sights. Like the sights are horrible, because I'm a huge H&K fanboy, but I will not give them leniency when it's just bad design. Like the rear sight is fine, but look at the front sight. You have, there he goes. You have basically 3 notches, and the empty notch in the middle is what you're supposed to be focusing on. But then these other 2 notches on the sides can obstruct your vision while aiming down sights. So if you were to try and use this in a self-defense scenario, I would not recommend it. You're much better off with just a Glock or a Beretta or damn near anything else. P320, P365, whatever. I would never carry this. This is just take to the range for fun, even though it's a mood killer. Like, it is not fun to shoot. This is just a piece to show off. This is like, let's see, what would it be like? I kind of want to say a Thompson, but I love the Thompson. I've heard a lot of good things about that, and also how weird it is. I'd love to own a Thompson. I've never fired one, but I'd love to. That and STG-44, that'd be great. And a Red 9, because Resident Evil 4. Like, I actually want to go play Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 4 now because of this. The originals. The remakes are good, but my memories and nostalgia are in the originals. And if anybody else ends up finding their own VP70 and can't find mags for it, I'm sorry. I basically have them all now that I could find. When I saw this thing was available, I fucking snatched it up right away. Like, I feel lucky that I was able to get this gun, honestly. It's very rare. It's the one gun that I've wanted literally all my life. First game I ever played when I was like age 3, I think, age 4. And I played Leon's campaign the most, and I've wanted this gun since then. And I was happy to see it in any other media. Like, I think it's in Doctor Who as well, but specifically I remember it also being an Alien, and I was like ecstatic to see it there when I watched it as an adult. I'm like, wait, what? There's not much else to really say about it, except for that they did change the design of it in the Resident Evil 2 remake video game, because it's called the Matilda, which is based on, you know, Leon the Professional, the movie. Good movie. Should watch it. It's interesting. But yeah, there's not really much else to say about this gun, except for it's pretty iconic, and in Solid Snake's words, the reality is no match for the legend, I'm afraid. That's just how this gun is. It's a fun little piece to have, and beyond that, I would never rely on this. If it was my last-ditch effort, then maybe, because better something that's trash than nothing at all. Like, I don't ever want to even have to trust a high point, but if I have to have something, I'd rather have that than nothing at all. But you give me an option, I'm going to go with a VP9, or even a 1911, or, you know, fucking something. Like, just whatever works.